Hello everyone, welcome to GEO'S Harder Addon. In this video, this will be a guide of how to survive the harder add-on. Simply enough, you have to face all the challenges that in this video will be a complete guide of how to help you survive GEO'S Harder add-on. My first tip of advice when you first start using the add-on is to simply do one simple thing. Get tools and try to get decent gear before dark. If you don't get any decent gear before dark, then you're probably going to die. And you also need to get to the Nether in order to make the infused gear, which in the video you'll see later in a bit of what I mean by that. For starters, try to gather some decent resources and keep an eye out for iron cows, gold cows, any cows that can drop you some decent ore, or diamond cows. You get the whole gist. But anyway, as you apparently progress, you'll find these type of iron cows. They can apparently drop you raw iron that you can get for killing them. Apparently only spawn during daytime. These only type of ore cows spawn during daytime. And that over there is a boar, the one you just saw in the distance before you kill this golden cow. But boars can be tamed with anything, well, seeds and that kind of stuff, but not everything. Anyway, you may want to probably find a village, as this would be a best source of a bed. Once you find a bed, you may want to use it because in nighttime it is not safe. So or try to get some decent gear before it gets dark. And also, overall, boars are also dangerous mobs who apparently are quite strong. Boars apparently have about a decent amount of health and do some damage. They will attack you if they see you. Apparently they can be tamed with seeds, bedroot, and some other things. Make sure you also set your spawn point at a good place. So apparently, you kind of respawn, so you don't die every 2 seconds. But anyway, in this crafting table recipe, you're gonna need, hey, I don't know what I'm saying, but anyway, you're gonna need to make iron. You're going to need iron ingot to the Nether, because when you go to the Nether, you're going to need to make the infused gear, which requires netherrack and iron. If you want to make the full set with the chest plate and pantry, you need netherite scrap. Netherite cows can spawn in the Nether, but they don't spawn very often. So you'll have to, it depends on the luck, basically. You can find some. That's a baby cow. Golden cow. Reminds me of budding. Anyway. Sorry about that. But anyway. Apparently you're going to gather enough resources for the Nether. Like decent overall gear and equipment before you face them. Also, there are also new mobs in the Nether you can face. However, you can get something that could be very helpful to you, which is cooked raw meat. For cooked raw meat, you can only obtain it when you're killing the new types of mobs. They're undead, but you need coal and raw meat and make cooked raw meat. Cooked raw meat can apparently give you resistance, regen, saturation, and strength. It lasts for 30 seconds. It can be very helpful in dire situations if you're in a certain fight. And apparently we have a trader. Traders apparently are a rare type of villager who has really good offers. Trading with him will give you more and better offers. However, keep him alive and try to, however, he will despawn. So trapping this will not be easy. And that right there is raw meat and cooked raw meat. Cooked raw meat will be your best friend when you need it. For certain situations, like you're in battles, it overall gives you regeneration 4, strength 3, resistance 4, and exaggeration 4. Something like that. But anyway, like I was saying, of course, try to get overall some decent gear before it gets dark. And a pair also for coal cows is they can also drop you coal when you find coal cows. There are all types of cows. Iron cows, gold cows, diamond cows. I think I said coal cows, right? I already said that. And also ruby cows. Ruby cows only spawn at nighttime. And there's also netherite cows, which only spawn in the Nether. But anyway. Anyway, As it progresses, as your time goes on during the day, it'll probably will get dark. Which will probably get dark. And as it gets dark, you have a choice of staying up at night and fighting the variations of mobs that may try to kill you, as nighttime is not very safe. But rather, if you're brave enough to go out and face these mobs, you could get some raw meat, which you will need in order to make cooked raw meat. Which, like I said, cooked raw meat is your best friend in aiding you in battle, since it gives you the best effects only for 30 seconds. Also, forgot to mention copper cows are a thing too. Remember, those cows only spawn during daytime, not nighttime. Meaning if you're at nighttime looking around trying to find these type of cows, like iron cows, all kind of stuff, you're going to find them until daytime. However, as it gets dark, look at me, I have no decent gear but a shield. I didn't really come really prepared because I was sort of in a rush making the video. And this is a guide after all, so it's a bit of a rush of trying to show off how to survive in the add-on. Anyway, like I was saying before, coughing. These new mobs you can find are harder zombies, and apparently they have decent amount of HP, slightly faster compared to a normal zombie, and drop raw meat upon death. Now there's a harder witch. She can shoot fireballs at you and throw potions at you. And when you hurt her, she tends to run away and panic. And rather, harder witches are a bit rare to spawn. They don't spawn very often. But overall, they can be annoying sometimes. But harder zombies should be easy to kill and get raw meat upon death, which you can use to make cooked raw meat using coal. The recipe simply uses coal and cooked raw meat. You get the whole gist of what I'm saying, right, guys? Right? You get what I'm saying. And see, this is what the cooked raw meat gives you. It also gives you saturation, if you can't see it. Meaning it will be very helpful like in these situations. And that over there is a harder cave spider. A harder cave spider is a cave spider, however it can spawn at nighttime. And apparently, any mob that touches them, a mob can ride the spiders. And this over here is a armored harder stray. Armored strays apparently will have a bit more HP and have armor. It can be annoying. And that over there, apparently, in the distance, you can see that is a ruby monster. It can drop rubies, which apparently you can get the ruby gear by simply killing ruby monsters or ruby cows. And they spawn in the overworld and the nether and only at nighttime. So apparently, when killing them, you get rubies, ruby ingots, or ruby nuggets. As ruby gear apparently is overall the second best gear in the game. And overall, talk about the armor, infused gear is better than netherite. Ruby gear is better than infused, and ancient armor is the best gear in the game. Only having a one-piece armor, though. But anyway, back to what I was saying, of course. Apparently, the spider mobs you can find, apparently they also give you fatal poisoning upon death. That's also a harder husk, by the way, which, yeah, I died. Dying is a thing we know. But armored harder husk, basically a husk version of a husk, which can apparently, what you call it? Okay, that's a zombie boar. Zombie boar can drop the most raw meat upon death. Apparently, they're not as fast as a regular boar, and don't do as much damage. I think I don't know, something like that. But apparently, zombie boars can drop the most raw meat upon death. Overall, that's a harder creeper. Harder creepers apparently are fast and don't have much HP, but they can be annoying in certain situations. You also have a harder gen, harder skeletons, which they're just a bit harder versions. You kind of get the whole gist. Sorry about that. Anyway, like I was saying, of course, before, yeah, you see I'm kind of dying here. I don't like dying. Anyway, I think we should probably skip this part, the whole nighttime thing, get to the other part where I show you how, what you do to get to the nether. So let's skip this part, shall we? Now that you have survived utterly your first night. Okay, you survived the first night. good. You probably died a lot. That depends if you made a house or stuff, whatever. Apparently, now this is one of the things you probably do. Try to get some decent gear and head to the Nether, which you'll need infused gear. The infused gear will provide you with great protection against all the new harder mobs you'll face, including some other mobs which you may face upon the way. Some other mobs. You can also find armored mobs, which can also spawn, so best bet is to get infused gear and the blade. The blade is a sword which you need netherrack, quartz, and iron to make, and a stick. And does some decent damage. Better than netherite sword at least, which that's what you overall need to, not die, of course. But, anyway, what I was, trying to say again. And overall, in using your daytime time until it turns night, you can look for all the ore cows that you can probably want to kill, so you can actually get some overall, decency in the ore which you make. And I'm pickaxing a witch. Wow, my sword broke, I'm now pickaxing a witch to death. A hard one, too. That was not fun. Anyway, let's skip to the part where I get to the whole portal thing. I think I'm boring you too much with this guide. This guide is helpful, I think. Alright, let's skip to the next part. Anyway, now let's say you have built a portal. Which, yeah, I had to build a portal in creative, and let's just say you just built a portal, like, you can find a room portal, you fixed it. Now head to the Nether, and the next step, you'll need to apparently make sure you iron on you, by the way, because, you need to have iron, just make sure you do. Make sure you have some iron on you, so you can actually make the infused gear, which you will need. It'll be very helpful on your journey to beating the game, of course. You will need that on your journey. Once you get to the Nether, you'll be facing some new enemies. This one's a hell skeleton. They apparently can spawn in the Nether, and apparently they are quite dangerous, giving you hunger and doing a decent amount of damage without proper gear. If you get some decent gear on, like iron gear, you should be fine, I think. But anyway, you can also face some of the harder mobs you've been here before, and also find new Nether mobs that want to kill you. The only reason they're dying so easily is because the only reason they're dying is because I, cooked raw meat. But anyway, you find new mobs like hell creepers, nether drowners, hell skeletons, a whole bunch of more mobs, including soul mobs, which can be found in soul sand valleys. But anyway, use this time wisely while you're here in the Nether to actually find some netherrack and actually get some in order to make. Well, you guessed it, in order to actually make the infused gear. You can find a ton of mobs, like, apparently, hell spiders, like, nether hoglins? Is that what they're called? Yeah, I think nether hoglins, I think what they're called. Yeah, hell creepers, armored hell creepers, and all that kind of stuff. You kind of get the whole point. A lot of mobs you can face, which can be annoying in the Nether, but with the proper gear and equipment, you should be fine. For now, of course. But anyway, I want to just skip to the part where, I tell you how not to die. Yeah, let's just skip to that part. After I kill this Nether drowner. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, hell blazes can spawn. These blazes are actually a bit more stronger, and they can spawn in the Nether. They're a bit more stronger compared to the blazes, they shoot more fireballs at you. But rather, they can give you blaze rods, but they don't spawn that often, so you may need Nether Fortress still. You may need one still. But anyway, yeah, let's skip to that part now, where it's like not have to die. Now that you utterly begin to collect some netherrack, you can now finally make your beautiful infused gear. Watch out for the harder endermen. They're quite dangerous. And they can be quite annoying sometimes, the fact that they have 80 health. I didn't mean to say ADHD, I meant to say 80 HP, not, okay, I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm trying to tell you is that you get netherrack, you do all the other stuff, and you get the whole gist, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything, on accident. Yeah, I can't say things, I'm kind of sick right now, so, anyway, like I was saying, of course, and moving on, and apparently, when you find quartz, grab it. You're going to need to make the sword, which is the blade. And that blade will be very helpful to you. And that blade will be your big help in surviving the harder add-on. Without the blade, you're kind of screwed. You need the infused gear and the blade. The thing about the infused gear, you can only make the boots and helmet with netherrack and iron. The chest plate and pants, well, those require netherrack iron and netherite scrap. Those are the strongest pieces of the infused gear, chest plate and pants. But once you've got all materials, head back to the overworld, or and craft all stuff. Let's skip to the part where I do that instead of dying on the camera. Okay, now that you're back in the overworld, next thing to do now is make some infused gear with your iron. Now you have overall some decency of iron, you can now finally make that infused gear. Which now, looking at the craft tree, the infused helmet is what you can make next. Don't mind this harder fox. And yeah, they'll attack you. They spawn at any time, and yes, they will jump at you and try to kill you. They are, vicious little foxes. I mean, why do they attack you? We don't talk about that. Oh, I forgot to mention, the add-on has its own lore. The harder add-on has a ton of lore, which you need to find out yourself, aka the community. Anyway, there's the blade. You now have the blade. Not on the offhand, the hand. There. Now you have the blade. Overall, a decent weapon will be very helpful with you in combat. And now that you have some overall decency, infused gear, you know how to play with the harder add-on. You know how to play with GEO'S harder add-on, which, aka, I'm Geo. Okay? Don't mix that up. Okay. Anyway, this is GEO'S harder add-on guide. I will see you next time. Goodbye. And